Hey everyone, and welcome to the next Beatles update. This is really going to be a large one, as you might be able to see by that lot. I haven't done one in a little while. I've been saving it up. This is going to be my last Beatles update before the new year, obviously. So I wish everyone a happy new year, and I'll show you what I've got in the last few weeks of this year. Now here we have a fourth pressing Please Me, accompanied by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 exact copies, which was rather a surprise at Christmas, put it that way. But there was a great display all laid out. Anyway, now for the actual Beatles stuff. Here we have a 2003 Holland pressing from the Harlem factories of Please Me in mono. It's got the barcode on the back, and it is on the 2-box Parlophone label. Next we've got a stereo 10th pressing Please Me. It's just a regular one on the 2-box label. And here we have just a regular 2-box pressing of Please Me. I actually already have this copy, although this one has different matrix numbers. This has a 2-3 matrix number, whereas the one I already had a 2-2 matrix number. Next is a With the Beatles mono second pressing variation A. The difference with this one to a regular copy, other than the 5N matrix number, is that it has a slightly unusual tax code of, let's find it, MKT, as you can see there. I've been collecting lots of different tax codes recently, so I was happy to get this one. However, that's not the only interesting tax code I've got. I've got another mono second pressing variation here actually, except this one has a 7N matrix number, so this is a very late one. Now here we have a mono second pressing variation B of Revolver. This also has an Ernest J Day sleeve, and there's also my only Revolver with an Ernest J Day sleeve. Ernest J Day and Co. Yep. So I was also pleased to get that. The actual condition of the vinyl's rubbish, but you know, it was like a £5 or something, so it was worth it just for the different colour. Here is a piece I got a few days ago actually. It's a first pressing stereo Yellow Submarine with the red lines on the back of the cover. You can tell it's a very early copy because the flip backs are blank. Some of the later first pressing copies have printed and made by Gowden Lofthouse Limited on the back. And of course this is on the Apple label. It has the original black in the sleeve, and it has the Soul UK text, which shows you that it's a first. And it's in quite pretty good shape, I think, as well. Here we have a Let It Be second pressing variation B. This one, the only actual difference between this one and the other two variations is just the size of the 33 1/3. On one side it's got a small 33 1/3, and on the other side it has a big 33 1/3. Although it is very difficult to see the difference. Sorry, I think the big one's on this side and the slightly smaller one is on this side. It's very difficult to tell, but yeah, that's just the way you do it. Now we have a this is all like foreign Beatles albums at the moment. This Beatles for Sale, I believe, is from New Zealand, and if we look at this one, Yep, you can see it's got a spelling mistake. Funnily enough, the spelling mistake on this one is also on I'm a Loser, except this time it's got 2 O's rather than 2 S's. So it's gone from I'm a losser to I'm a loser. It seems people really had trouble spelling that word. And I don't think this is an actual spelling mistake, although no reply, the L looks a bit weird. But yeah, I don't particularly think that's a spelling mistake. Yeah, so it's amazing that you can get so many different typos, especially on the same song as well. Now we have a Canadian pressing of Magical Mystery Tour on the capital label. I'll show you the inside. I was pleased to get a Canadian copy of this because I've only got like the British 76 copy, and I think the American and Canadian ones look great. Obviously this has like a cardboard sleeve, and it's on the green capital label. I think I've heard this is like 1969, something like that. And this is the only green label I have, and I don't see these very often, so I'm happy to get this. Sounds great. Next up is a French help, a French Pathé Marconi help. This is the 20th anniversary edition in stereo. I played this last night, and it's a little bit warped, although it certainly sounds fantastic. It's false stereo, although it really does sound good. And that's on the blue Odeon label, which I really like actually. I think that label looks good. It's weird how all the letters are really spaced out though. I've always found that weird. Yeah, so that's another one to add to the French collection. It's surprising how big a catalogue the French Beatles albums are, because you can get loads of different types. Now moving on to the Beatles Greatest. This is actually not a Dutch pressing, because the album's Dutch, I believe. This is a... Oh, let's have a think. What was this pressing? Just checking my notes. Yeah, this is a Swedish pressing. I'll show you the label on this. This is the Swedish one box, of course. Parlophone. It sounds great. It's on black vinyl rather than the Dutch gold vinyl release, but still good. It's mainly just a compilation of the early work. It's a good compilation, I like it. Yeah, it's pretty much like everything from sort of 63 to 65. Next is a this is a Portuguese copy of Beatles for Sale. Now the interesting thing with this is that if you look on the inside, the colours have been totally inverted on this part here. It's normally white text on a black background. It's now the opposite way around, which I think is really interesting. And the label. Oh, hang on. I made a mistake here. This is the New Zealand pressing, and the other one I showed was the Portuguese pressing. That's embarrassing. Anyway, sorry. This is the New Zealand pressing, and it's in stereo, and on the one box label. It still surprises me how many of the foreign releases were on the one box label. This is a white album. This is a Portuguese press, I'm sure. Yep, this is a Portuguese white album, and it is in nice condition, very nice condition. It's complete, and I'll show you one of the labels. Yeah, it's still on the Apple label. Obviously, it's a different layout to the British ones. Although I think it's nice to collect white albums, especially because it's a really interesting album, you know, because they've all aged differently, and obviously the early ones have numbers, these ones don't.